understanding, that implies also a new God view. See? And I use God views to avoid the idea of a God image. It's not an image. Every image that you make yourself is, of course, a wrong image, because it's, if we talk about the divine, it's imageless. But a view, a way of an approach to the divine. And in the past, the divine was God, was always presented to us as separate from us. You quoted this right this morning. Don't get the creature and the creator mixed up. You see, separate. That was decisive. That was central, and equally central to the mystic. And the mystic approach is not to separate the two. The mystic isn't over against the divine. The mystic swims in the divine. And even that is an inadequate image, because what swims is again water. You see? This is not somebody that swims in there. Or, as Thomas Merton put it, God isn't somebody else. That is one of the most profound and succinct statements of theology. God isn't somebody else. Take it from there. Whatever you has to fit that axiom. And so we again start with our own experience, and we ask ourselves, how do we experience the divine? And that is where we come back to body, soul, and spirit. Again, I'm appealing to your experience, and we usually start out with something. In our meditation, we start out with something. So let's assume you are taking these flowers that are here in full view of all of us. Take this beautiful flower, just the beauty of it, just the fragrance of it, just its very presence lifts heart and mind, puts us in touch with something that is unfathomable. You will never be able to fully fathom it. There's more and ever more to it, because it's connected with everything else, with all the roses in the world, and with all the roses in the past, and so with all plants, and so with all minerals, and with everything there is. This is part of this great web. So it's inexhaustible. And that is an aspect of the divine. Dorothee Sölle, great German theologian of the last century, doesn't use the word God, or she avoids it as far as possible, and uses instead the more, M-O-R-E, more and evermore, you see. Because God is so misleading, and there's so many misconceptions, so you speak of the more and evermore. There's more and evermore. And when you look at this flower, there is more and evermore. But now I invite you to look really long and deep, and we can't do that here. You have to do that at home by yourselves, but you may have done it before, and you may be able to envisage it at least. If you look long enough at this flower or anything, you will experience it as a manifestation of the unmanifest that underlies it. If you look long enough at it, the question will arise, why is it? Why is there something rather than nothing? And again, a beautiful answer is given in a poem by John Cage, the tradition who says exactly to this situation, if you let it, it supports itself. You don't have to. Each something is a celebration of the nothing that supports it. Each something is a celebration of the nothing that supports it. So you have discovered another dimension here. It goes on to say, when we remove the world from our shoulders, we notice it doesn't drop. Where is the responsibility? But for us, the decisive word is each something is a celebration of the nothing that supports it. So you have the one, the unmanifest, the silence, the nothing, the emptiness, out of which everything comes. Out of the one comes the innumerable immensity of everything. Out of the emptiness comes body. It's the embodiment of nothing, not the embodiment of something else, you see. And we mustn't make the nothing into something. But it's and we ourselves are embodiment of this nothing. See, we ourselves are something. Our body, our very being is a celebration of the nothing that supports us. We are mystery to ourselves. We don't know where we come from. We don't know where we go to. And we are alive. And that is the third element. That is the spirit. Our soul is this unique way in which the nothing expresses itself in me. It's the form of this particular body. And the spirit is our aliveness that connects us with all. The nothing is one for all, and then comes the multiplicity and the spirit that embodies, that enlivens all of us. So you can think of it, and that is how tradition, Christian tradition, has thought of it as everything coming out of this nothing, and as if that nothing spoke. So everything is word that comes out, because this nothing is not an empty nothing, it's the fertile womb of everything there is. It's like a motherly womb of emptiness. Of course, it must be paradoxically. If it weren't paradoxically, it wouldn't touch upon the divine. So it must be paradoxical. It's the empty, it's the fullness comes out of this emptiness.